Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, we have a WIP Chat for you guys. I am so excited. It's been a while since I have filmed a WIP Chat. But if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting-related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Before I get super into this, I'm going to let you guys know I have officially run out of memory on my phone. I've spent the last half hour trying to erase certain files off my phone, just so I could have an opportunity to film. So this WIP Chat is going to be a little bit shorter than my typical WIP Chats. And hopefully I will be able to get this off my phone and onto the interwebs, because you guys, I seriously, it's telling me I have 57 minutes to be able to record on my phone. And if you guys have been here before, you've heard me talk about this. I am one of those people that I don't trust the cloud. I'm worried about, backing up onto a hard drive and not being able to access it. And I'll tell you, if you guys saw my live premiere, which if you didn't, I will link that for you guys up in the eye. But I had a video clip that I had on my phone, and I backed it up to my Google Photos, and then I took it off my phone because I didn't need it until I made the video. And unfortunately, when I went to put it into my video editor, it would no longer open the video. So, that wasn't a super huge deal for me because I had another video clip that would work. That needs to go over here. But I don't want to lose the video clips of my daughter and things like that. I'm not going to, go super into that, because if you guys have been here, you've heard me talk about this. But anyway, I am currently working on I Choose You. It is a Mermaid Cavern kit. I did an unboxing for this. I will leave that up in the eye for you guys if you'd like to see that. So, when you guys are seeing this, Happy New Year. I was hoping to have had this finished so that I could start my event on time, which, surprise, I did not finish it. I guess the other issue is that I also have yet to decide what I'm doing for my own diamond painting event, which if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I host a diamond painting event. This will be the 4th annual, holy moly, Alice in a Winter Wonderland. And if you guys would like to participate, it's super easy. All you have to do is pick any Alice or Alice-themed diamond painting kit. It has to be a new start. There's no size requirements. Sorry, my kiddo is very much awake, so you guys might hear her on the monitor. Anyway, I just totally forgot this. Oh, my event. So, it's any Alice or Alice-themed kit. There is a Google Doc to start. There will also be a Google Doc for an exit form this year, because thanks Instagram for changing the algorithm. But it is on Instagram, and you post with the hashtag Alice in a Winter Wonderland. As I mentioned, any Alice or Alice themed kit. And I love doing it and meeting new people in the community, or new to me people in the community, finding out about different small shops, finding new art I didn't know existed out there, things like that. So if you guys would like to participate, it runs from January 1st through February 14th. So it is a decent chunk of time. So if you're somebody who struggles to finish a canvas, you also don't need to complete anything to participate. I will say, our house has been hit with a lot of sickness. So if you guys hear me sniffling and coughing, I apologize. I'm hoping. I'm not somebody who makes New Year's resolutions. I used to be at one point, but then anytime I didn't achieve them, which was 100% of the time, I would just end up feeling guilty and mad at myself, when in reality, I think a lot of us set these expectations that are, I don't want to say unobtainable, but not necessarily realistic for your life or your lifestyle. And I'm not over here saying I have these over the top goals or anything like that, but for me, every year, I think I'm going to be a planner person, and then I get super overwhelmed with keeping up with the planner, and then it just goes to shit, and then I feel really bad about myself, because, why can't I keep track of things in a planner and everybody else can. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm not everybody else. So, I believe it was Lori from One Fun Diamond Painter who was saying that instead of picking like a goal, a resolution, to pick like a word. And for me, I am not looking to be out here, you know, thriving. I just simply want to get out of survival mode. I feel like as many amazing moments as I've had this year with my family, with my kiddo, with her ice skating, with school, with just like all these things that have been wonderful, super core memories, like taking her to Lancaster for her birthday, like just all these wonderful, wonderful things. I'm also plagued by the fact that I feel like I have spent the majority of the year just trying to stay afloat. And I just want 2024 to be better than 2023. So I'm not making any sort of resolution. The only thing I am hoping and praying for myself is that I get out of survival mode. Like I said, I'm not trying to be over here like thriving. I just want to get out of survival mode. In terms of diamond painting, I would love to get to work on some more new to me companies or companies that I've only worked on like once or twice. I have noticed, and this is not a complaint, it's just a fact that I'm pointing out. I have noticed that a lot of these like independent diamond painting companies, all of a sudden the prices seem to have gone up. Now I understand the price of everything has gone up, and I know whether you are US based or you're based elsewhere, that's a determining factor for some of us who we know that it's going to cost a lot of money for the kit and it's going to cost a lot of money for the shipping. And some of us have had some pretty bad experiences that we aren't really willing to drop like $100 and something on a new canvas from a company we've never tried. I mean, I can't really speak for anyone else, but I know like for me, I do get a little bit nervous purchasing from companies that are expensive base prices with high shipping, just because I don't want to throw away that money. I do have a canvas that I'll be talking to you guys about this like in the future, but that I purchased, and it was the first time I actually had to put a canvas away like for good. And that was a bit disappointing, and I will, like I said, I'll go over that with you guys at a later date. Really, for the next month and a half, expect a lot of my content to be Alice in Wonderland related, which, you know, makes sense if you think about it. I'm hosting an Alice in Wonderland diamond painting event. And if you guys are ever trying to find the information for the event, you know, I have an entire playlist on the channel, but I posted the Google Doc on the link tree in my Instagram page. I have it on my community tab here on YouTube. I have it in my Facebook group. So there's plenty of ways to find out how to enter and to enter. The other thing is you don't have to enter right away. So if you can't start until later in the month or till next month, feel free. I've had people join in as late as like the last week of the event before. And for some people, you know, they'll start a project knowing that they aren't going to be able to finish it, but just that they want to be a part of the community. So I fully encourage that. I also encourage double dipping. So there's a Be the Bird event right now that's also happening, which is the Richard Lorenz, all those crazy little birds. Oh, well, my kiddo sounds real frustrated right now. I'm gonna be right back and check on her. Well, I'm back. And if you guys are actually like watching this, you're probably like, wow, you got further along. I did. My daughter was screaming because she has a sweatshirt that has a metal zipper that is very, very difficult to manipulate. I didn't know that she had it in her room with her. But anyway, she was screaming bloody murder because she couldn't get the zipper to work. Mind you, almost every single time she wears this sweatshirt, it's the same thing. And I understand that she's frustrated, but she acts like it's the end of the world. And I explain to her all the time that zippers are difficult. It doesn't matter if you're a little kid, a big kid, a grown up. Like, sometimes zippers are just difficult. And then it went into this whole, like, well, here are my demands. And I'm like, girlfriend, I am recording. I need to get back to doing what I'm doing. Either you stop playing with that and the zipper, or I come take it. And she's like, I already put it on. I'm like, girlfriend, oh my God. I don't know how people, okay. I have an acquaintance. I'm going to go off on a tangent here and then I'll come back to like anything relevant. I have an acquaintance who was like, I really hate it when people say, how do you handle, because she's got like 4 kids or something, 3 kids. I don't know. She has a bunch of kids. And she's like, I hate when people are like, I don't know how you do it. And it's like, okay, well, I have 1 child, and I say this all the time to my friends that have multiple kids, is I really don't know how people do it with more than 1 kid, because I've got 1 and I feel like I am barely able to like get through the day. So that's super fun. I'm just pull a couple colors. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all well. We've had winter break here. Well, my kid's still technically on winter break. And then they go back to school. She goes back to school. And then she's off for MLK. And then the following week, she has another, like, in-service day. And I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of days off this month. Of course, none of them align with any of the days that we needed for other things. But, you know, just trying to grab some colors here. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all doing well. We have had a very uneventful winter break, if you will. As I mentioned earlier, sickness hit our house hard. You guys, this year feels terrible in terms of like sickness. Please let me know, because I'm sure that this is hitting like your houses as well too. But our house, we had a stomach bug. My husband got hit first, and he thought maybe it was just food poisoning. And then especially since nobody else got it. And then, like, a couple days later, it hit my kiddo and myself at the same time. My poor husband had to take care of both of us. Bless his heart. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And then we finally started to feel better. And then it feels like just days later. I know it was a little bit longer than that, but not much. And we got hit with some other virus that I feel like a lot of people are getting right now, with the sore throats, the runny noses, and the coughs, and just, we ended up not being able to spend Christmas with my husband's family because of that, but I guess I don't have any notes written down today because it's been a while since I've done an actual WIP Chat, and as I mentioned, if you guys watched the Christmas premiere, that's like the last like quote unquote WIP Chat that I did, and it wasn't even really like a true WIP Chat. It was just like me and my husband hanging out. And if you guys did not watch it, go watch it. I don't remember if I linked it in the eye. If I didn't, I'll link it here. Having to pause the video and come back has thrown me off. But if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, every year for the past couple years, a bunch of content creators get together and they record their pre-recorded videos. Each creator gets an hour time slot, and then they are put into a playlist, so it plays one after another after another. The difference between this and just like a regular pre-recorded video is they're all set to live premieres. So if you were in them as they aired in their time slot, the creator was live in the chat with you. So it's a nice combination of a live video without being live and a pre-recorded video. And the whole point of it is to be with people who may be alone on the holidays, whether it's their personal preference, they've lost someone, they can't travel to be with someone, they're home for reasons out of their control, whatever it may be. And my husband has been there with me, and we've done, I think that was our 3rd one. Don't quote me on that. We've done it a couple years. And And it's a huge honor, especially, like, you have some pretty big name creators that do it, and you have some, you know, new channels or smaller content creators. It's a really fantastic way to meet new or new to you creators. And we were able to kick it off this year. I was super, super excited. So our time slot was on Christmas Eve. And it was 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we were in there where I was shocked that there was anyone there because, you know, especially with time zones, people on the West Coast, it's like the middle of the night. But it was so much fun. And for anyone who found me through those premieres and is now subscribed to my channel, thank you guys so much. I'm really glad that you're here. Excuse me. oh my gosh, I am struggling. I got to find some really amazing creators. I'm still going through the playlist because I wasn't able to catch all of the videos live. And I've subscribed to quite a few channels and found some creators that either I just had never experienced their content before or had never heard of. And I'm really, really grateful to have been a part of that. And I love what it stands for. And my husband is so much fun to do videos with. If you guys didn't know, he has his own channel. He hasn't put up a video in like a year, so maybe I shouldn't be promoting that. But his stuff is always linked down below in my description. But he also, if you did not know this, has his own playlist on my channel, and it's so much fun. And I absolutely love when my husband is on my channel, whether it's alongside with me or he's done an unboxing for me on my channel. I will link his playlist up in the eye. If you guys found him entertaining, go check him out, show him some love. And yeah, so anyway, this break, my husband works a job that he's not one of those people that gets off for that week between Christmas and New Year's like corporate America would. My husband works in the retail world, and he's a manager, and he was very lucky that he got some time off. Now, as I mentioned, he works in retail, but he doesn't work in retail in the same sense that he used to. He works on the retail side for a company that is affiliated with an amusement park. Okay, super long story short, my husband works for Hershey. Anyway, so for them, the biggest time of year, the most populated time of year is the summer because it's connected to Hershey Park and people are there. So for him, it's not this huge craze of like Black Friday deals and Christmas sales and things like that. So it was really nice that he didn't work in a position where he was working these crazy, insane hours leading up to Christmas. Only when the park is open, and the park is seasonal. So right now they're finishing up their Christmas candy lights, and then they will reopen again in the spring for like their Easter weekends or spring weekends or whatever they officially call them. And then they'll open up for the summer. And, I can tell because my husband, when he was giving me his schedule, I can tell that they're coming up on we're just open our regular 9 to 5 or whatever hours because that's what his work shift is every single day. And the days that my husband works till 10 o'clock 11 o'clock at night are the days that typically the park is also open because they're open later because of that. Anyway, super long tangent. I feel like I've rambled for so long. I told you guys absolutely nothing, but because that we didn't really like travel or do anything like that over the holidays, which was fine. We knew we had an upcoming trip to Baltimore, which we've already gone, and I'll talk to you guys about that here in a few minutes. But we just really relished in being able to just stay home and relax and do nothing if that's what we wanted. So Hanukkah was earlier this year. Not earlier. Hanukkah was not directly around Christmas. It was earlier in December. So we were still in school when Hanukkah was happening. Not that we need off for Hanukkah, but if you guys have, one thing I love is like family traditions. And for me, I have come to the realization, as my daughter has gotten older, that it's really hard for me. If you guys didn't know, I'm Jewish, and my daughter is being raised in a Jewish household. We do not do Christmas in our house at all. But it's really hard to distinguish between, I love all these Halloween decorations and Halloween lights, to all of a sudden now it's Christmas decorations and Christmas lights, and I can't be like, no, you can't like those. So for us, we've turned into that family that goes out and like drives around and looks at decorations, looks at light shows. We got to do a trolley tour this year. Hershey Park has this thing that they do. It is separate from the park admission. So like if you have a park ticket, it's not included in this. Just in case anyone is trying to do this in the future. But they have this Christmas light display, a drive-through Christmas light display. I mean, I'm sure they're going to try to say that it's a holiday display because it has one display that's not Christmas related. Like, but anyway, and we decided to do it on the Chocolate World trolleys. That would be my tablet if anyone heard that, because apparently I forgot to mute that. But anyway, we did the trolley tour. And so for us, with the cost of how much it would have cost for us to go in our car, and the fact that my husband is an employee, we were able to make it more cost effective for us to take the trolley. So we sat on the trolley. They sang a bunch of Christmas songs. We got to sample different seasonal Hershey Kisses. And we got to go through the display. And we've done it before in our own car with friends. You guys, it is like $40 now for one car. So if you're like, excuse me, just a small family, for us, we're a family of 3, that's like $13 and change per person. That's a lot for, this. So it was actually more cost effective for us to do the trolley for our family. Obviously, if you have a large family and you can shovel a lot of people into a van, it breaks it down to much less per person. But this was great. We had so much fun. She just loves looking at Christmas lights. And we've really turned that into something we do yearly. There's a local house in Harrisburg that does one of those light displays to music. Like where you roll up and they have a radio station set to the frequency, and so we got to do that. We've been doing that every year for maybe even since she was an infant. Because as much as I don't celebrate Christmas, I also really enjoy lights and music and things like that. And my daughter is really enjoying Christmas music. If you guys, my daughter and she made she made my God, words. She made a video on my story, I guess earlier this week, if you follow me on Instagram. And it was her singing. She was not on camera. She was just singing off camera. But she is obsessed with, it is the 12 Days of Christmas, but it's Casper Baby Pants version. If any of you guys are like Gen X or millennials, you probably remember the band, the Presidents of the United States of America. They sang Peaches. They sang Lump. They were really big in like the mid 90s. The lead singer of that, his name is Chris Ballew. He has something like 20-something kids albums, and he performs under the name Casper Baby Pants. And I'm telling you guys, if you have small kids or grandkids and you want music that doesn't make you want to like gouge your own eyeballs out, go check him out. But anyway, my daughter loves his version of the 12 Days of Christmas because there's a porcupine in the pear tree. She just loves it. So, like, I'm telling you guys, every single day for weeks now, this is the song that my daughter asks for when she goes to bed. She just loves it. But it was so much fun getting to go see all the lights and doing all of that with her. And, like we have our own traditions for Hanukkah. We always make latkes and matzo ball soup. We always light our menorahs and say the prayers and things like that. And, I don't live in an area where there's a large or really even existent Jewish population. So it's not like there's houses that have Hanukkah decorations up, and we put up an inflatable of a bear holding a dreidel. I think it's holding a dreidel. I don't remember. We also sent my kiddo to school with dreidels for everyone in her class and instructions on how to play it, which is, really interesting because they don't talk about religion, quote unquote, but yet my child is coming home talking about Christmas and all the Christmas things. But the one thing that I found interesting and also that annoyed me is I got an email from her teacher. Her teacher and I had discussed this previously, because I wanted to make sure that during December, for any projects that they were doing, that my kid was given an option to do something that was winter related and not Christmas related, because a lot of times they automatically assume everyone celebrates Christmas, so we're going to do things that have Santa and a Christmas tree and reindeer. And I understand it has nothing to do with Jesus, and but also when you have a small child who doesn't understand why they celebrate something different than their friends, or why they might be the only kid in their class that doesn't celebrate Christmas, which she is not, but I wanted to make sure that my child wasn't feeling excluded. And then, of course, the teacher made it like, oh, yeah, we'll have snowflakes and snowmen and all these things. I was like, great. So then she's like, but what am I supposed to do if she wants to do the Christmas stuff? Well, I mean, obviously try to encourage her to use the things that are not Christmas related, but also don't take it out of her hands if she does do Christmas, because then she's going to feel even worse. So we had discussed me sending in books, which I've mentioned this before. We get books from an organization called PJ Library, which if you or someone you know is raising children in a Jewish household, they send books every month for free to these families. And they are often about whatever holiday is that month or upcoming, or just different traditions and things about, culturally. And it's really very, very cool. It's a great way for my daughter to get excited about her heritage and all of these things. And I had discussed with the teacher that we would be more than happy to provide a book to read to the classroom. And she was like, make sure it doesn't have anything to do with religion. And I'm like, okay, there's a whole lot. If you guys know the history of Hanukkah, you can just talk about the people. You don't have to, you don't have to make it religion based. It's basically about a miracle. Super long story short. And the easiest way to explain it to little kids is, hey, you have enough battery on your iPad to last for tonight. And somehow it miraculously lasted for over a week. That's terms little kids can understand. So I sent 3 books. One that I thought was super appropriate and funny and entertaining, and I thought for sure that's what the teacher would choose. No, I was wrong. And then one that was really short, and one that was a little bit on the young side, but it had a bunch of animals. And that's the one that the teacher ended up using, which, okay, that's fine. I obviously, I didn't have a problem with that book because I sent it to school. Excuse me. My problem is that I got an email thanking me for it. And I was told that all the kids love learning about Hanukkah, and they didn't just say, here's a segment about Hanukkah. It was like, here's Hanukkah, and how is it so similar to other holidays? It's like, well, why can't it just be its own thing? Is anybody learning about Christmas and learning how it's similar to something else? No, they're just talking about Christmas. And I was just like, okay. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate her teacher, even allowing us to include this in the curriculum. It's also one of those things that I think a lot of people, when they teach lessons on things that they don't know much about or they don't truly understand, something like this can be really helpful to give them an opportunity. But my daughter was so excited that she got to do this at school, and that all of her friends learned about how to play dreidel. And we aren't allowed to send any food to school, so I couldn't send the kids in. I couldn't send any gelt, which are the chocolate coins, which I think makes it more fun to play for little kids. But it was super, super fun. I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick. I took a couple sips there. My throat is getting quite parched up here. But yeah, it was super fun. So we decided to just take the time that we had off from break. My kiddo did a ton of ice skating. I shared in my premiere video a video of my daughter and her program. If you haven't seen that and you want to see her ice skate, it's in there. I don't know what the timestamp is, but it's in there. And it was the first time my daughter has ever done her program for competitions, like by herself on the ice. Like, she hasn't competed yet, but it's what she will be competing with. So she really loved having the opportunity to skate to it and do it on her own. And when I say on her own, every time she practices, it's open ice. So she's always out there with other people. Sometimes there's a lot of people, sometimes there's not a lot of people, but it's always been with other people. And she also performed in the local Nutcracker on Ice, which was absolutely fantastic. And I really tried to figure out a way to share some of that footage with you guys, but other people's kids are in the background, and it's a group thing, so it was really hard to just remove other people without showing other kids and my kids' face. But we had this weekend where it was literally Nutcracker, day off, and then the holiday showcase. So one of the things we've tried adding in as a tradition now that my daughter is a skater, if you guys are new here, my kiddo is in kindergarten. She's been figure skating for about 2.5 years now. She absolutely loves it. She skates multiple days a week, and she has had this desire to skate outdoors for a really long time. Last year, a local mall had a rink like a pop-up rink that they put in the parking lot of Boscov's or something like that. And she went and she got to take a lesson on the ice, and she just loved being able to skate outside. Now, unfortunately, I'm in Pennsylvania, but it has not been like this insanely cold winter like it has previously been. So we don't even have, not that I have a pond, but even like pond ice it's not been cold enough for that to be safe to skate on. And there are opportunities to skate at on some synthetic ice, which will damage your blades. And thankfully, my kiddo is not in these like super fancy ice skates, so like that is not as much of a concern to me today as it would be in like a couple years, for example. But we took her to Baltimore this year for a doctor's appointment, and the last time we went down to Baltimore, she was really upset because we basically left after the appointment and we didn't do anything fun. And so this time I took it upon myself to find information, and I found out that they had public skate at an outdoor rink that they created, like another pop-up rink in the Inner Harbor. If you guys have been around, you've heard me talk. We go to Baltimore pretty regularly. For us, it's about an 1.5 hour drive. So it's not super awful. And it's one of those things that we can make it manageable if we do a day trip or an overnight trip. And because we had an appointment early in the morning, we had all this time in the afternoon to do whatever we wanted. And so that's what we did. And it was funny. We were walking back after my kiddo had skated. And I don't want to take anything away from my daughter's abilities. I think there's two like schools of thoughts when you hear people talking about like a child who can ice skate, that they go, oh my God, can your kid do an axle? Can your kid do a this? Can your kid do that? And then the other, which she can't. She has a spiral, which is one of those, like they are on one leg and the other leg is out like perpendicular like this. She can do that. She can do some crossovers. She can skate backwards. She can skate on one foot. I think she's very good for her age. But then you have other people who, they expect that she can do like all these amazing higher level skills, and she's not there yet, which is totally okay. But then you have people who, like, are shocked that she can do more than just, like, basic skating. So we were walking back to, I don't remember where we were walking, but we were, like, I don't know, like 3/4 of a mile away from the rink, and this couple came up to her. I would say they're probably in their 50s, and she said, "Are you the little girl that was just out there ice skating?" And my daughter's just kind of like staring at her, and I said, "Yes, she was." And she's like, "Wow, you were so good." She's like, "When you did that with the one leg, I couldn't believe how good you were." And my daughter is over here going like, "Oh, thank you." You know, she's excited, but she doesn't comprehend that that's not like normal behavior. People don't just stop someone on the street and go, "Were you the person that was ice skating?" Obviously, if you saw somebody doing high level skills, you'd be, "Wow, that's really impressive." But I think they just see this cute little kid and are shocked that she can not only ice skate, but ice skate pretty well. And, you know, my daughter just thinks this is like a normal, like, Tuesday. And I was like, "Girl, like, people don't do that." And she's like, "Really?" Yeah. So she got to do her outdoor ice skating, which was a lot of fun. It started to get really busy, like, really quickly. And if you guys have ever been to public skating and you've seen, like, the skate trainers, they're basically like walkers for ice skating. And the problem is this rink offered every single person that hopped on a skate trainer. If you can run or speed skate with a skate trainer, then you don't need one. Okay? You should not be going that fast, especially if you are not a skilled skater, because you are going to run over someone or you're not going to know how to stop. They don't have brakes on them. So these kids are just flying around, and you can see she's getting a little nervous because she can bob and weave out of their way, but they just keep getting in her way and they don't know how to stop. And like a group of teenagers like crashed into her. She was fine. But I could see she was kind of like, "Okay, I'm done now." And I respected that. But we spent our break primarily watching holiday movies. We always watch Home Alone because it's a fantastic movie. And, I was thinking, I was like, man, this movie doesn't really age well in the sense that, a kid would never not have access to a cell phone or the internet nowadays. But, like, my kid would never be able to figure out how to get herself to the supermarket on her own. Now, if you are somewhere that you live within walking distance of a supermarket, that might be different. My kid does not. She would need a phone to call an Uber. Would she be able to do that? Maybe, but would it take her where she needs to go? Probably not. My kid was also in kindergarten, so she doesn't know how to read quite yet. She's learning to read, which has been fantastic. This break, she has been writing up a storm and wanting to learn how to spell things. So I have so many little notes that she's written that says, "I love mommy." And it makes me melt every single time. Because I'm like, "I love you too." And then she's like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, I made you another picture." And it's like, "I love mommy. I love mommy. I love mommy." And I'm just like, "Yay, thank you." But I decided to let her watch a couple other movies. We watched The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. We watched so many movies this break, which, if you guys have been around, you've heard me say, like, we are not a big TV family. And I am going to just preface this by saying I never expected to be this person, and I have zero judgment if you are that person. I never expected to be a no-screen mom. The problem is my child cannot transition from the TV being on to anything else. So for us, it just causes so much anxiety for her, and she just works herself up and, like, really, really struggles. So we just, at most, she typically gets one episode of TV before bed, and it's, Bluey or Spidey and His Amazing Friends, or she really likes Super Kitties. And that's it. So movies are usually a treat for if we're homesick or, like, we had a day off, like something special. And not just sick, because I don't want her to associate being sick with time off. I just pulled this color back. There we go. Because I was like, I know I saw it. But we got to watch, I don't even know. Oh my God, you guys, we watched The original Willy Wonka, because that's what the music for her program is from, and she had never seen it, and I was like, I think it's a good time to watch it. She loved Willy Wonka, loved it, and I was like, whoa. I expected her to enjoy it, but I wasn't expecting her to be like, oh my god, this is amazing. You know, you all hope that when you pick a movie, especially an older movie. But let me tell you, I made the mistake. Don't be like me. I made the mistake of watching The Sound of Music with my daughter. She's heard the music so many times on her. She's a Google in her room, and it plays music, and that's pretty much what we have it for. And for her, she's heard a ton of the music. So I was like, okay, we've seen Princess Diaries. That is how she knows who Julie Andrews is, because of the Princess Diaries. So I watched it and I turned it on and I was like, okay, here we go. And I was like, what the heck? Have you guys seen The Sound of Music recently? Because I did not remember that the movie was 3 hours long and that there's an actual intermission. Like halfway through, I could see my daughter was like, what's happening? It was good, but it was so long and she was so confused and she's like, what's this break? And I was like, it's an intermission. And then she's like, so is it over? I was like, no. So I had to explain that to her. She had gone to a theater show with me before, so she has experienced an intermission before, but never in a movie. So I made that mistake. Don't make that mistake. But, you know, it's funny when you watch an old movie, and this is an old movie that's based on even older times. So a lot of the things she was like, I don't understand what's happening. And I was like, well, that's my fault. I should have thought about this a little bit more before I did this. But alas, I did not. Here we are. Like, let's move on. I felt so silly. But, I couldn't even tell you. We watched a movie almost every single day for like a week. And she missed the last day of school because she spiked a fever in the middle of the night. And I was like, well, their rules, they have to be fever free for 24 hours before you send them back to school. Totally fine. Not a big deal. But, you know, she was bummed because she missed the last day of school. Did we watch The Grinch? No, I think we were going to. Are you guys Jim Carrey version fans, or are you original, like, cartoon version fans of The Grinch? Because every year at school, I don't know why this was the thing, but, like, we always watched the animated version of The Grinch before they released us. And I'm not talking about when I was in, like, kindergarten. I mean, like, when I was in high school, maybe even middle school. So I'd seen The Grinch so many times. But then I realized she's never seen the animated version. We did do the live action a couple years ago. I think now she's more interested in The Grinch because, you know, I guess kids her age, they talk about The Grinch. But anyway, so we got a lot of movies. We watched a lot of movies this break. And that was fun. We also, so as I mentioned, we didn't spend Christmas with my husband's family this year. We usually go to his brother's house for Christmas, and we're there usually for just hours and hours and hours. And my daughter enjoys it because she loves going to see her aunt and uncle and her cousins, and she's the littlest one, so everyone dotes on her, and she just likes, you know, all of that. But sometimes as a parent, it's really hard when you are ready to go and your kid is not, and dinner hasn't been served, or they haven't done the gifts with the family, or whatever it may be. So my husband was feeling a little under the weather a couple years ago. We went to Christmas, and afterwards, we all ended up testing positive for COVID. I later found out that, because we thought we had, you know, potentially exposed the whole family, we later found out that it was more likely that my sister-in-law's family actually exposed us. And so, because we knew there were a lot of family members and elderly people, my husband was like, I think it's just smart for us to just not go this year. And so for me, as somebody who grew up not celebrating Christmas, I celebrate what I call Jewish Christmas. A lot of people in my boat do the same thing. And if you are somebody who celebrates Hanukkah, let me know if this is how you guys spend your Jewish Christmas as well. Typically, the only two things that are open on Christmas are movie theaters and Chinese restaurants. So we went out to an Asian fusion restaurant, and we had dinner, and after that we went to see the new movie called Migration, which is all about ducks. If you need to know anything about my kid, the thing you need to know is that she is obsessed with birds, specifically ducks and flamingos. So if ever there were a movie that were created like for my child, this was it. Excuse me. So we went and saw the movie, and we afterwards went up to that drive up light display that I was mentioning in Harrisburg. So we got to spend the day together as a family. We just didn't spend it with his entire family. My husband wasn't sick. He just wasn't feeling completely better yet. And so with the potential of like being in close quarters of everyone, he thought it was smarter this. And, because I know somebody's going to be like, but you guys still went and did something. Yeah, but we weren't on top of other people. My husband wasn't like sick. And it was really lovely being able to do that. So this break has just been a lot of just relaxing and spending quality time together as a family. My husband was able to be off for the holidays, so that was super nice. And then last night for me in real time was New Year's Eve. My husband and I didn't do anything exciting. I diamond painted, he worked, and then he and I went downstairs. We watched a couple minutes of the ball drop, which I was like, there's a couple ways that you're getting old in this world. One of them is when you see things like the ball drop or the MTV Movie Awards or the Grammys or whatever, and you are like, I don't know who any of these people are. Like, I've never heard of most of these people. So they were, it was Ryan Seacrest was talking, and I was like, who is this? We just watched a few minutes of it. Like, we didn't spend a lot of time, because I was just like, let's just watch the actual ball drop. Now, earlier that day, I had dropped my husband off at work, and my daughter and I drove past in Hershey. If you are ever trying to be touristy, Hershey, Pennsylvania they drop a giant Hershey Kiss. And so we were out on the corner. We were driving past it while they were hoisting it up and getting everything situated. And last night, this child did not go to bed till like 10:30. And she just had like this crazy amount of FOMO. She just didn't want to miss anything. I was like, girlfriend, like, we're not going to let you stay up till midnight. You were 6 years old. A new 6 at that, so she would like to go to that when she gets bigger. And I was telling her about the ball drop in New York, and she's like, do you think we could do that one day? And I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. No. Anyone here, have you guys ever done it? Let me know. I don't really like being around a lot of people. Okay. I don't want to be standing out in the cold for hours upon hours. I don't want to be like reserving my spot and standing there and doing nothing. That does not seem fun to me. Maybe 20 years ago, I would have been more interested in that. But I was telling my daughter, I was like, by the time you're old enough to do something like that, mommy and daddy are going to be too old for it. And she's like, oh. But she didn't want to miss out last night. I felt bad. And this morning we watched some of the Rose Parade, which was super cool. She loves flowers, and a lot of the parade floats were animal themed. And she just really, really enjoyed watching that. But also we got to do zoo camp. So this past summer, excuse me, my kiddo did a zoo camp for a week. And she loved it. She got to go into the zoo and see some animals, and then they had these classrooms where they learned about all sorts of different animals, and they have a snack, they do a craft, it's a really great program, and it fills up super, super fast. So I was really, really lucky that we were able to get in and get the dates. And so I got an email about it, and it was like their winter break version, and it was a 1-day thing. And so the zoo is connected to Hershey Park, and Hershey Park, during their Christmas Candy Lane thing, has live reindeer. So they had said when you signed up for it that, weather permitting, they're going to walk the kids over to the park. They are connected. You just walk over this like walking bridge, and they are going to go see and learn about the reindeer. So I'm checking my kiddo in, and they're talking about the reindeer. Now, I assume that the reindeer over there is also named Rudolph. But my kiddo, they start talking about Rudolph, and she goes, Rudolph isn't real. And I am just like, oh my God, like, where is this coming from? Now, mind you, we don't celebrate Christmas, but I've never told my kiddo that she, like, anything about Santa or reindeer or anything like that. I want her to form her own opinions. And that's kind of like how my parents did it. I don't think they ever had like a conversation with me about Santa specifically. And so I could just see the look on this little kid's face when she's saying that he's not real. And I'm just like, don't ruin the magic for other kids. And then she goes, reindeer don't have red noses in real life. And I was like, oh, thank God. So apparently they went over. She got to meet the reindeer who was named Rudolph. And she was telling me about how Rudolph was real and like all these things. And then she's talking about shedding their antlers and all these things. Now, mind you, we had gone to in our town, they have a Santa in a shack. I don't know how to describe this. It's literally like a little shed in the middle of the like square downtown. And like, I mean like shed, just very, very little. And, you can wait in line and meet Santa and Mrs. Claus, and that's cool. But one day, they brought a real live reindeer to the thing, and they had food trucks, and so we went. Again, I may not celebrate Christmas. I may not ever have a Christmas tree in my home, but my kiddo is an animal lover, and, you know, I knew this would be something she would love to do, and I was right. She had a blast. My husband was with us, and all of a sudden we acquired like all these random kids. I was like, the little children are fascinated by my husband. He's a really big guy. Like, he's 6'4". He's a big guy, but he has this very teddy bear quality about him, and little kids just love him. So there were these, I'm assuming they were twins. They were like physically hanging on him. And the little girl in front of us just became like best friends. And it was funny. I tried to take a picture of my kiddo, and she got in every one of the pictures. So I just think it's funny. Like, I don't know this little girl's name. I've never met her before, but she's in all of our photos. Excuse me. But Briar got to meet and pet a real life reindeer. She was very, very excited. So while we may not have done anything, you know, crazy over the top, we didn't do any family ski trips or, you know, travel far and wide. We did make the absolute most of the time that we had together, which I think is super important. And I would, you know, minus all of the sickness, I would do it all over again. Now, the hard adjustment is going to be getting my kiddo back onto like a regular sleep schedule. Because when she wakes up on her own, she's much more self-motivated and will do things quickly. But if I have to wake her up for school, like, no joke, it'll be 45 minutes. And I'm like, Briar, I need you to get off the toilet. You need to wash your hands and brush your teeth. We still need to go have breakfast. We still need to get ready for school. And it's like, but mommy, you know, of course I'm the villain. I'm the worst. I'm like, girlfriend, just make it easy. If you've never interacted with small children, one thing you should know is they're always surprised. They're always surprised. You need me to go to the bathroom? You need me to wash my hands? Why do I have to brush my teeth? What do you mean I have to get dressed? It's like, kid, every single day of your life, this is what you've done. Why are you so surprised that you have to do it? And every day, she acts more surprised than she did the day before. Like, you need me to do what now? Like, girl, just go to the bathroom. But yeah, so we had a really lovely break. I have to figure something out because obviously I want to be able to continue to give you guys WIP chats. I can't say that I'm committing fully to WIP chats every week the way I was before because obviously space. But right now with the event, I'm going to have less time to get things situated and together. I'm going to do my absolute best. I'm going to just continue to bring you guys content wherever and however I can. This year for Alice in Winter Wonderland, I am going to be changing some things up in terms of my videos. So instead of me doing a weekly WIP chat that has the Easter eggs in it like I've done in previous years, I'm shifting that a little bit. I will definitely share more information with you guys when I have it available. I'm really, really excited. I just want to make sure I can pull it off before I go, this is what I'm going to do, everyone. But yeah, I had a really wonderful holiday break. I'm excited that my kiddo is going back to school soon because she loves learning. We have another upcoming trip to Baltimore, which sucks because I was like, really, we couldn't have done them on the same day. But they're really proud of her. She within the last year has started some medication that could potentially affect her weight gain. And it hasn't, which is great because my kiddo is on the small side. Like, that's an understatement. Like, she is, like, grossly underweight. But she is insanely muscular from all the ice skating. So I think that's something that has actually played out into our favor, like, really, really well. But yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed being able to spend the time with my husband and my daughter as a family and do things together. We were very blessed. My parents, his mother, my daughter's hairdresser, a friend from school, Erica from Kevin's Creation, my nephew and his girlfriend. I'm probably missing somebody else. They all came to see her skate in one or both of the shows. And it was just really fantastic to see so much love and support behind my daughter and her ice skating. And I think this is where I'm going to hop off so I have enough room. Hopefully I can get this up. You guys, I'm going to be so annoyed if I recorded this and I didn't make it all the way up. But if you made it all the way to the end, leave me an ice skating emoji. Something snow related. Snowflake, snowman, ice skate, whatever it may be. If you guys enjoyed this video, and you'd like to see more videos like this, or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of